Okay, today I'm going to show you something I created called Decoding Piano. I'm definitely no pianist, I haven't had any lessons, but I created something called the Fretboard Toolbox for guitar, and then kind of figured out that the way to look at it worked for mandolin and banjo and ukulele and ukulele, but then I wanted to see if it could work for piano, and so I have been able to learn quite a bit from it, and I wanted to show you how it works today. The first thing you can do with a Fretboard Toolbox or Decoding Piano Edition is you can take a piece of music you've never looked at before, and you can start seeing how chords are built for it, and what notes are found within a key. So the first thing I had to do is figure out with sharps and flats what key corresponded with each sharp and flat, and then I made a page for each key. So if we looked at a piece of music and saw that it was in the key of G major, or if we saw it had one sharp, I could tell the song would be in G major or E minor. And then I can turn to page 6 and see what notes make up the chords and what chords are found in those keys, and then where those are found on the piano. I'll show you how that works here. Okay, so here's page 6, and if I was looking at a piece of music and it had one sharp in it, I would know that it's going to be in the key of G major or E minor. And those two keys use the same chords, they just have some different names. Like in the key of G major is your 1 chord, A minor is your 2 chord, B minor is your 3 chord, and songs keep coming back to that G major. I'll show you kind of what that would look like. Okay, so that's G major, D major. Okay, so that would be a song in a major key. If a song was in a minor key, if it was in E minor, then I would have the song would keep coming back to this E note here, and this chord would actually be called the 1 chord, and this would be the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the only thing different in minor keys is that this chord that's a 3 chord in a major key, or a 5 chord in a minor key, would be a B major. So instead of B, D, F sharp for a chord, I would play B, D sharp, F sharp. And a minor would kind of sound like this. Here's E minor. And then to play the B major, I'm going to need a B note. Let's back up so you can see that. I'm going to need a B note here. Here all these kind of have a sadder sound. And then back to that B major. And then back to the root, E minor. So that's kind of the difference between major and minor keys. And let me show you how the chords are built. Okay, so if I want to build chords in G major, what I need to know is the G major scale, which is G, A, B, C, D, E, and F sharp. And then if I came down here on the Fretboard Toolbox, I could see that the note with the asterisk is the G note, and it's found on the left side of the middle of these 3 black keys. And then I can just play the notes that are underlined and play a G major scale. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. On a piano, it would look like this. We'd have G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and then back to G. So that's all there is to knowing the major scale, which is kind of interesting, but it gets more interesting when you start seeing, when you can tell how to build chords in those keys. So if I want to build a G major chord, I'm going to use the notes G, B, and D. And so if I play any G, B, and D combination, then I'm going to be playing a G major chord. So I can look down here and see I could play G, B, D. I could play B, D, G. I could play D, G, B. Anywhere on the piano, you'll be playing this combination. So you could play G, B, D, B, D, G, or you could play D, G, B. And remember, I'm not a pianist, so I know that some people will be offended about that, but about my fingering positions there. But in any case, that's how you make a G major chord. And then if I want to make an A minor chord, I'm going to use the notes A, C, and E. So I look down here and I can see A, C, E. Again, I can play those in any combination. Excuse me. I can play E, A, C, and I'm playing an A minor chord. So chords are pretty easy to build, and what's cool about it is if you know what chords all sound good together, you can just kind of mess around on the piano and see and kind of make up some songs of your own. Like here's G major, C major, D major, C major, or if I want to play that D major, oops. So I went D, F sharp, A, and then I'm sorry, D, F sharp, G. So all those chords sound good together. G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor. That's called F sharp diminished. Notice the tension there. And then it goes back to the G chord. So you can put those chords in lots of different orders. D major, back to that G major. So I use my toolbox to figure out songs on my own, and then I also use it to figure out songs that that other people have written. And I'll show you how this Grandstaff Jig works next. Okay, so here's the Grandstaff Jig, and like I said, I made this for myself initially before I started selling them because I didn't know where all the notes were, and I wanted to kind of understand how piano went, and I couldn't play two notes together because I wouldn't know what two to play. But I created this Grandstaff Jig as a way to see what all of the most commonly played notes are all over the grand staff. So I put these notes here so I could see where all the A's are, and then I put these so I could see where all the B's are. So the space above the top line of the bass clef is a B note, and the line on top of a bass clef is an A note. So I can see all my A's, all my B's, all my C's. And then what I need to know is if I'm playing in the key of G major, which notes are sharp or flat. So if I look at this F sharp, the F is a sharp note, which means that anytime I see an F note, if it has one sharp in the piece of music, then I know that all the F's are sharp notes. And so anytime I see an F, I'm going to play a sharp, and that's because F sharps are found in lots of the different chords that are found in G major. So I use some mnemonics here that are common or relatively common. Good burritos don't fall apart are the lines of the bass clef. All cows eat grass is a way to remember the spaces of the bass clef. Every good boy does fine, and then F-A-C-E. And then those patterns continue all the way throughout the music here. So here we have G, B, D, F, and we have G, B, D, F here, G, B, D, F. So all the spacing is similar. And then the one to remember for sure is middle C, which is the middle C note on your piano, is this line that is one below the treble clef or one above the bass clef. So that's your middle C, and then I just use this to figure out what all the notes are. So in a more complicated key, like let's say if a song is written in a key that has 5 sharps in it, like B major, I'm going to know that the C's, D's, F's, G's, and A's are all my sharps. So if I look down here, I can see that I can play B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, and back to B. And that's my B major scale. And then I can look here and see, well, how do I play a B major chord? and it's played with the notes B, D sharp, and F sharp. So I come down here, and then I can see how can I play a B, D, and F sharp? So I could play B, D sharp, F sharp here, and that would look like this. And so that would be my one chord. And again, you can invert those in lots of different ways. The other thing that you can see on these books is what 7 chords are. So let me go back to G major. And in G major, if I want to play a 7 chord, I'm like a G7, I'm going to need G, B, D, and then F. So a 7 chord is has the note from the flat 7 column here. It's a B7. Sorry, that's out of focus there. There we go. So I need B, D, G, B, D, and F. So if I come down here, I can see G, B, D, but then F is in grayscale because it's not actually part of the key. So that's kind of what gives 7 chords a cool sound. So if I play G, B, D, and F, then I'm playing a G7 chord. If I want to play a chord called a G major 7, I'm going to play G, B, D, and it'll have an F sharp in it. And so I could come down here and see G, B, D, F sharp. Listen to how that kind of has a jazzier sound. So here's G, B, D, G, G major 7, G7, and I can build any of the chords that way also. An A minor is going to have A, C, E, and G. So I could come down here and I look for A, C, E, G. So A, C, E, G. But it keeps resolving back to that G major since I'm in that key. So playing those chords across, G major, A minor, B minor, would sound like this. G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, and then I'll switch this one around, F sharp minor, and then D, G, B is another G chord. And that's kind of all there is to starting to figure out piano with the Fretboard Toolbox. I hope that was helpful, and we'll have more videos to come. Thanks for checking it out.